We're going to take a trip through Reno history as seen through the lens of award-winning photojournalist Marilyn Newton. Now, you may not recognize her face, but if you've lived here very long, I'm going to bet that you have seen her work because she worked at the Reno Gazette-Journal and the Reno Evening Gazette for 5 decades and seriously never missed an important shot.
It's incredible to think about how many events she has documented here in Northern Nevada, how many photos she's taken, and how young she was when she got bitten by the shutterbug. Have a look.
You started off in news at the age of 12,
At the age of 12 in 1957.
And it didn't take her long to make her mark in history.
Well, my mother was the circulation manager for the Nevada Appeal in Carson, and she needed paper boys. Only nobody applied. So my twin sister and I got drafted, which made us among the very first paid paper girls in the whole country. So I had that going for me. But I showed an interest in it, so my publisher editor, Neil Van Suey, let me write my first story at 12 for publication, and I shot my first photo with a little Brownie Hawkeye camera at 13 for publication.
She followed her instincts, and she followed those willing to teach her on the job.
To me, it was a great way to do it because you're talking to people that are already doing it, and they could give you some good hints on what to do and what not to do. And I just listened to everybody and then built my own style around that.
Back then, she was the only lady photographer at the paper, but she had an ace in her pocket with her father.
But I have one distinct advantage, and I'll be very truthful about that. My father was a Carson City cop. Well, when I came over here, he introduced me to the Reno police chief and the Sparks police chief. So it really helped me. It really did. Having my father as a cop really helped.
Make no mistake about it, she learned quickly, and her competitive spirit helped her with these shots on pretty much everything she ever went after.
You got to be right on top of it. If you want to get a good photo, you got to be there and get it and do what you have to do to get it.
That in with the cops, it got her photos like this.
They'd let me get as close as possible without getting hurt.
In fact, this shot was nominated for a Pulitzer.
This is the murder suspect in his pickup. He's westbound on 7th Street at Keystone, and these 3 motor officers are trying to arrest him. And by the way, this little part down here, that's my car. That's how close and I was shooting the wide-angle lens, so that's how close I was.
Turns out she had a natural nose for news, and boy, she had the drive to run things down, too.
I wanted to be everywhere all the time, and I was for the most part.
She's won more than 400 state and national awards for breaking news, features, and sports. From politicians.
And this is another interesting, that's President Johnson.
So what year was this?
63 or 64.
Wow.
Robert Kennedy. He was at Pyramid Lake working on the treaty with the Pyramid Lake Indians.
Wow.
I've met every president since Johnson.
To breaking news.
This was
At the air races?
At the air, when the plane crashed into the stands. Here's another good one. The 97 flood.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
From entertainers.
Beach Boys.
Oh my. Where were they playing?
Down at, it was the State Building then, now it's the Pioneer Center.
Okay.
But I ended up dating Denny Wilson and was engaged to him for a bit of.
You were?
Yep.
To community events.
That's from the air races. The Thunderbirds, where 2 jets look like one.
Wow.
Again, the Thunderbirds, you know. I've always loved this one.
Oh, look at that.
And get this, she's 77, and she's still the official photographer for the great Reno balloon races, the air races, and the rodeo. Yeehaw! And you may not realize this, but she is also putting together a book of her famous photography.
She absolutely should.
Yeah.
She's got a lot.